you for getting us gathered today. Help us to make decisions pleasing unto you and to the betterment of our community as a whole. Be the leaders of our world at the current time as we seem to be in somewhat chaos, and help us to always keep you at the center of our life and all the decisions we make on a day-to-day basis. Amen.
All right, please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so we'll get started, and first up before you is the consent agenda, or consent and regular agenda tonight. Are there any proposed changes to the, or additions to the agenda?
Make the motion to approve.
Okay, Mr. Harrington, made first, and Mr. Crownover second. All right, the next is, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. All right, motion carried. All right, next on the list is, need to move to approve the consent agenda. And the consent agenda, this month, includes the, financials and last month's meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Consent agenda approved. All right, now we'll move on to old business, and in old business, we have the AI program policy. Mr. Beecham?
All right, thank you, John. Last month, we had, as part of the new business, a look at the AI program, and I've got a little update to that. That was passed, that law, by the state legislature, that go into effect for this school year, that we had to put in effect a procedures, safeguards, and guidelines of approving AI programs. On the August the 8th meeting, this board did approve the policy that TDS, the Tennessee School Board Association, sent down. And so what I'm getting at about that, this is a once-a-year thing. In talking with the Tennessee School Board Association and in talking with other superintendents over the past 3 weeks, it isn't necessary for the board to vote on every, in fact, it's not even advisable for the board to vote on every single AI program. Instead, there has to be policies and procedures based on Board Policy 4.214 that y'all passed in August. And I wanted to tell you, just update you on what those policies and procedures by that board policy that have been put into place. If a teacher desires, or administrator desires to have a program that has AI, for instance, Grammarly, it checks your grammar. And it's a tool in aiding with writing. If a teacher wants that, she puts in a tech request to our IT department at the help desk, asking for access. A Google form is then sent to them collecting all pertinent information, and the technology supervisor verifies it meets FERPA, Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, and COPPA, Children's Online Privacy Protection Act standards. It has to meet those. If it does, then it's passed to the director for approval. The teacher is then informed, and it has to be made available to all students, not just a class or a school. It's on Clever, our supportive software, and it's broadcast throughout the district. Then a list of those have to be maintained on the website. As director, once a year, I'm supposed to report back to you annually what programs have been approved, and also that we're proving that we're maintaining those safeguards. But every time one is approved, it has to go under the technology portion, the webpage of our website. And there will be an ongoing list of every program that meets those two industry standards. So it's more of an update. It's not anything to vote on, but I wanted to give a review of it because we did have it in new business last time, moved it to old business. But those policies and procedures have been put in place with a template for how they are to be approved.
Okay. All right, so next we'll move on to new business. Mr. Beecham?
I'm going to do the first item, then Ms. Stacy Valley, our federal programs director, is going to come and do the others that follow. Each year, it's required of our schools to submit for approval, this will require approval, to the board, the community service projects that our schools are doing. We have to do an ongoing list of these each year as they do and submit it to you, the board, for approval. I hope you've had a chance to look through it. These are all really fine activities, the way they can do community service. And it's good to see our stakeholders out in the community, our teachers, our administrators, and most importantly, our students have these opportunities to be involved. I just turned to South Havens right quick. In October, they're doing an event called Socktober. They do Christmas cards to nursing homes. Beta does pet food drive for the Hensley Animal Shelter. And you can look at each school has a number of these, like Southside, their first grade's going to do nursing home visits. How good of those kids to actually go and sing and mingle with those nursing home residents. So anyway, it's throughout there. This is nothing new. I will point out in Westover, their 8th grade Winter's Warriors, they've sold shirts for Miss Winter Taylor, who's battling cancer. Actually got one myself, and a picture taken of it. So this is just simply something that has to be presented to the board, put in the minutes, and met with y'all's approval each year.
Okay. Is there any discussion or questions from the board on this? All right, if there's no questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the 2024 community service projects as presented. Tyler? Second. All right. Mr. Wadley made the motion, and Mr. Crownover second.
The next three, oh, sorry, my bad. I jumped the line there.
Yeah, you gotta.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Tap the brakes.
All right, all in favor for this, say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. All right, D.
My apologies, Chairman. The next three items, each one of them, after they're presented by Ms. Stacy Valley, will need to be voted on for approval. Ms. Stacy Valley is our federal programs director, our compliance officer, and she is really deep into, right now, some very stressful monitoring, as are other members of the district, central office, supervisor, staff, and I appreciate her hard labor. Ms. Valley, the floor is yours, if you'll take those items, please.
Okay. First, you will see in front of you the compliance report, the LEA compliance report, and this just requires us to attest to the state that we are in compliance with all Tennessee code annotated. Of course, that list is just a little long, but obviously we keep up to date with that because you all typically review and adopt TSBA policies and procedures. So most of that is covered in that. Of course, we share the legislative updates with you all. So this is just an attestation that we are in alignment with all of those laws.
That we're following the State Board of Education rules. Yeah.
Okay, any discussions? All right, if there's no discussion, I'll entertain a motion to approve the LEA compliance report.
Make a motion.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. So, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. The motion is approved.
All right, the next document that you see in front of you is our legislators, as a part of the new funding formula of TISA, requires each LEA to complete an additional report, one of which was required by law that it had to be on the third grade reading proficiency, that by 2030, 70% of all third graders will be reading on grade level. And so this is a long-term plan, and you will see that the strategies and action steps are there. The other goal that we have is Algebra 1, and that was based on last year we saw a dip in our Algebra 1 scores, and so you had to have at least 2 goals, and we've always been strong in Algebra 1. That concerned us, and therefore we chose Algebra 1 as a goal. This also required a public comment period. This has been posted on the district website for public comment. And additionally, I have a representative group of parents that I work with on a regular basis. And I've sent this directly to them, and I have gotten some response from them. All of them are in agreement with continuing with these goals, strategies, and action steps, and did not really have any additional feedback, other than they wish the state would have less testing. That was, I had one comment, one comment that said they wish the state would have less testing, but this just requires you guys.
What is the state average?
The state
On the
average,
Algebra 1?
Mr. Beecham's?
33.6.
We're above.
We're above the state average by about 7%. Yes, yes.
Our algebra is above.
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
We've historically been strong in algebra, Bobby, and when we saw the dip, we made this, one of our goals.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Plan to get it up even more.
And we met our goal. You have to have a strategic increase. Algebra, we met our increase. Third grade, we did not. However, we chose a goal that was attainable so that we can still meet the goal by 2030. So,
What do you attribute the dip to?
We see several different things. I think that the test is challenging. And the other thing is in general public, we don't fully understand that test is not just reading. That test is reading and language arts. So it has a writing component to it, along with your grammar. So it's not just completely, is this child reading on grade level?
Okay.
So I think that there's more to that test than most of the public
Much to
know.
high, right?
I will make a quick comment about that as well. We've seen over the years in education, believe it or not, there are stronger groups of students that can be 1 year separated in school, for instance. A group right above them might be at 45%. That group, that third grade group, is also that group that was most impacted by COVID. You know, we had, 2021 maybe, where we missed half of that year, or we had, the board voted to get a staggered enrollment stuff, so we're still playing catch up with that group. Yeah.
And I would like to also clarify, the previous year, a typical gain is 3 to 4%. That previous year, we gained almost 10 percentage points. So, you know, when you have an extraordinary year, and it's kind of hard to keep that pace.
Exactly, you're raising that bar.
Yeah. But our students are working hard and our teachers are working hard, and you can see by the plan that we can, you know, there's no one specific strategy that's going to get us there, because all kids are unique and we have to be willing to meet the kids where they are.
Sure.
All right, there's no further questions. I'll entertain a motion to approve the TISA accountability report.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Harrington made the motion and Mr. Tate second. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Okay, motion carried.
Do you want me to do this one?
I'm absolutely fine if you do it.
We have to have also.
No, you're good.
We also have to have approval of the district strategic 5-year plan, this is like a living document. Mr. Chairman, do you have something?
No.
This is like a living document. If the board were to meet in a work session and change these 6 goals, it'd be uploaded to e-plan and so forth. But these are what we have as a group here, supervisors with input from others. This is our strategic 5-year plan that focuses on, well, I hope you've had the opportunity to read through it, but basically it's goal-wise, it's how we're going to support teaching and learning and technology, post-secondary opportunities, engagement through our Thrill Share, our communications piece. Our team has done a real good job of that over the last couple of years, how we're going to provide rigorous instruction, informative assessments, and this does drive what we do when we meet, whether it's with RTI, whether it's with data chats like we'll have next week. This drives, this is the game plan. So it's the strategic 5-year plan that involves CTE. It's typically each year just something that is, you guys look at it and we take a vote on it. It has to be uploaded.
Okay. Any questions on that, board? All right, if no questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the district strategic 5-year plan.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, motion made by Mr. Gordon, second by Mr. Camper. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. All right, motion carried. All right, next on the agenda is, okay, the next board meeting is scheduled for November the 14th at 6 o'clock. And this meeting will be held at Scotts Hill High School. So we're gonna start getting out in the community and seeing the schools while we have our meeting. So me personally, I haven't been around to all the schools the past 2 years, and this is a good way to get us all in the schools. People in the area that live close to the schools that don't necessarily want to drive to Lexington to the meetings will be closer and can come to the school that's closest to their house when we're there. So we'll get we'll hit every school at least once a year. So, and sometimes we may have a meeting here depending on what's going on for that month. So. And that'll be posted at least 10 days before the meeting, where the meeting will be, and address and all that, so. Next on the list is, Director of Schools update and comments, Mr. Beecham.
First thing I'd like to do is welcome Ms. PamUgent to the floor. Do you have, Ms. Bethany, a copy? She is going to give you a quick update on our outdoor classrooms through the ISM. There you go.
I'm over, yeah.
Ms. Pam, go ahead and take the floor and give us that update.
Okay. So with the Innovative School Models Grant, part of what we are doing with that is that we're building outdoor classrooms at each of these 7 elementary schools. So what you have in front of you is our beginning engineering drawing. You have the kind of floor plan. Each of them will be very, very similar, only as different as a site might make it need to be. But the outdoor one, the one that's got it like this, this is the back where you have the storage, and then they will just have a slanted roof. On the side of each of them, because we now have the STEM trailer, we are putting a bay for the STEM trailer to park when it is at that school. So that will be, it will have all of the accesses, like right now, the STEM trailer is using generator and that kind of stuff. So when we get that, we'll just be able to come in and plug right straight up and have everything pre-wired. Our plan is we're hoping to have the bid process and everything's done and finalized by the end of the year, so that we can start, by the end of the calendar year, so that we can start in January. That's our goal. what we're planning. So that would be similar to all schools.
Building 7 of them.
We're gonna build 7 of them, one at each of the elementary schools, that's great. Yep,
This all comes from the money from the ISM that
yes.
y'all passed in March of 23.
Mm-hmm. And that's from all grant.
Just got an architect or?
It does have an architect, Jason Hurdle was our,
Oh,
but we have a group,
Oh.
but yes.
Start them all at the same time, or just?
Probably, well, they told us from start to finish, they think we can have them all done in the 6-month time frame. So we'll probably start at one school and then, like start dirt work and then go to the next school and do dirt work. So that they will all, there may be a progression to them all, 3 or 4 starting at the same time. Yep,
Very good, thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
We also happen to have with us tonight our
Hey.
STEM teacher, trailer teacher, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell
Hey,
you,
and I want to give a shout out
Please
to
do.
Carissa too, because she's doing a phenomenal job on that STEM trailer. She even had the state in today filming and watching, and yes, so big shout out.
she's a blessing to our
She
community.
is.
Second thing I want to do real quickly is, we have now completed, Mr. Brett, our surveyor, all of the, does Mr. Miles have a copy of this? Do you know?
No,
I'm gonna give it. Mr. Brett has complete just today, or was it last night?
Yesterday.
Yesterday, we received these drawings from him, mapping out that lagoon area that, we've talked about quite a few times here. Just wanted to let you know that this was the first step, Mr. Blair, before we could take a next step.
Yes, sir.
In terms of any sort of upkeep, upgrade, roadage, or putting a new opening in the lagoon. All of those things were dependent upon a survey, and that just was submitted to us yesterday. So that's hot off the presses. I just wanted to mention that. Also, Bethany has done a fine job of putting together countywide events calendar for me. Bobby, I heard you mention a little bit ago about one of the basketball games, November the 19th, both Scotts Hill and Lexington tip off. It's all on this. This is for your perusal, for you to look at. It's home events. So I know you want to get out and be supportive of your schools, and want to make something real simple for you, where you can see what's going on, have it in your hand. Final note of mine tonight that I want to mention is about the reclassification that took place. This coming year, for the next 2 years, the classifications in sports have changed, not for Lexington, based on their attendance, but Scotts Hill will now be 2A in football, basketball, baseball, softball, 1A in soccer. They didn't go down in classification in volleyball, but then 1A in the other things. The classification, right now, today, as we speak, Scottsville High School has 470-some students. This past spring, they had 525 when this count was taken. They had a large graduating class, the largest in their history. We thought CSSAA was going to take numbers. I was just wrong about that. Numbers when the school year started this year, which were around 480, 485 when it started, but instead they took them from the spring. Jeff, we made it by 3 students.
I saw that.
528.
And they changed horses in the middle of the spring.
They did.
They typically take 20-day enrollment.
Yes, but they didn't. And it was, so I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful. It was a close call, but
Where, you said 2 years, I thought they were doing 4 years.
you may be right. What I have on the printout says 25, 26,
wrong.
27, so that would be 3 years. I said 2. I think it is more. Schedules are done every 2
See, they
years.
used to
Maybe
do it 4 years, every year.
I'm
Just
just,
went about, what, 10, 12 years ago, they started periodically doing it too.
I'm gonna plead ignorance on that, Jeff, rather than act like
Well,
you
you're
know what I'm
not
talking about. All right.
We're in 2A for a little while.
That's exactly, that's exactly right.
We're in 2A until they tell you.
And, Mr. Chairman, one final note, I want to say I'm very appreciative of the board. I wished I could talk openly about some good news that we've been receiving about last year, can't do that yet. But, we had a really good school year last year, with some fine educators, some fine leaders, some dedicated professionals, a lot of people who do what they do heartily unto the Lord, not unto man. And I thank God for our district. I thank God for y'all's leadership. And we're at a good place with principals. Last year this time we weren't. And there's still challenges out there, but we'll face those challenges and overcome them. But anyway, my appreciation to y'all, but in particular to our educators. I'm very appreciative of them. That's it for me.
Okay, so now we'd like to open the floor for public comments from actionable items on the, today's agenda. Please, limit to 3 minutes maximum.
May I speak?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to address this to the superintendent. On September the 23rd, WSM Channel 4 in Nashville, on the news, stated that there were 4 sewer systems or that were not classified, were not certified in this county. Where's the other 3 beside Barberton? They mentioned Barberton in particular. What other 3 systems are out of compliance?
So, Mr. Malum and I had a conversation
I
about.
called you,
You did?
Yes.
Thank you for that. And I did a search, reached out, I could not find that news article anywhere, Mr. Malum. So what we did, was we checked with certification of our, and Mr. Blair, if you'll touch on that, I spoke with Mr. Hensley, I think you spoke with Ms. Tammy, and all of ours needs code.
yes.
So I couldn't find the source of that, story, Mr. Malum, and when we talked to our people that work with the board, they said it wasn't so, that we were good. Yeah.
Who said we were good?
I've had multiple conversations with Tennessee Department of Environmental Conservation, TDEC for short. We're in constant communication anytime that we have issues. We have to go through a rigorous inspection process every 5 years, I think it is. We've received all of our letters that we are up to code and in compliance at this point in time. Speaking specifically about the Barberton Lagoon, we met with TDEC with Mr. Milam. Other than the survey and then the fencing that we've got to do at that lagoon, that system is up and running as designed, as it is supposed to, and we're in compliance specifically for the Barberton Lagoon. And then we've met all of our compliance issues with any of the other lagoons, and we're in good shape.
How did he get in compliance and certified with no fence?
Well, when we met with you and TDEC, we couldn't put that fence up until we had the survey done. And now that the survey's done, that will be the next step, is to come in and take care of the enclosure portion of that. But we weren't allowed to do that until the survey was completed. If you'll remember correctly, we had a fence team that showed up on your property to do that. And we're not allowed to progress with the addition of that fence until we had the survey done. And now that that's complete, now we'll take the next step.
What is the next step?
Now that we have the survey done, myself and Mr. Beecham, we will sit down and we will decide what our next steps will be, and then kind of come up with a timeline on getting that done. I don't know exactly what the next step's gonna be because we just received the survey last night.
It could be fencing, it could be tree removal, not sure, Mr. Milam, at this point, what next step is, but we're doing it. It's a bureaucracy, we have to do the check marks the way they make us do it, so we're on it.
the survey, when he surveyed it, there's more tree removal than just the 10-foot easement has some growth that will have to be removed.
We've been in commission,
Additional growth. And, all, for the new fence put up, it's going to have to be cleared all the way around.
and this is a area of dispute, concern. We've sought legal guidance as well. We're good at the moment to move forward now that we have the survey with what needs to be done.
Well, how do you address this misinformation that's come out of Nashville? I mean, that's not good news for the Henderson County Board of Education, their school system, when Nashville is saying things like that. Is it misinformation from them, or what?
I'm not going to accuse anyone of misinformation, Mr. Mullins, but I will say this, I couldn't find that, and that's why we reached out to our people. If you have a link to that story, I'd be very interested to see it, but I was unable.
I'm fixing to get my brother-in-law to research it. He's a computer nerd.
All right. Okay. I'll be glad to meet with you.
Move on.
All right.
Okay, anyone else? All right, if there's no further items to discuss, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Second. All right. Thanks, everyone. Meeting is adjourned. Huh? All in favor? Aye. All opposed, like sign.
You done good, that's all you missed.